To the outside world, 23-year-old Chandler Halderson was the American dream personified. He was a dutiful son, an Eagle Scout, and a brilliant student poised to start a lucrative career with Elon Musk's SpaceX in Florida. He even told friends he was an insurance diver for the police department. But on July 7, 2021, Chandler stood on the porch of his family home in Windsor, Wisconsin, telling police that his parents, Bart and Krista, had vanished on a weekend trip to a cabin. Within 24 hours, the police would discover that Chandler didn't work for SpaceX. He wasn't in college, he wasn't a scuba diver, and his parents hadn't gone to a cabin. The truth was much closer to home and far more disturbing. This is the case of the man who faked a life and killed to keep the script running. Welcome to CrimeLog.
To the female, she's sitting in the dining area. Female Hawaiian or simple 140, 5'5", medium build, wearing a...
To understand the tragedy, we first have to understand the fantasy. Chandler lived with his parents, Bart, an accountant, and Krista, a beloved customer service representative. By 2021, Chandler claimed he was finishing a renewable energy engineering degree at Madison Area Technical College. The pressure was on. Bart Halderson was a man who believed in hard work. He was proud of his son's potential. Chandler fed this pride with an elaborate paper trail. He produced hundreds of emails back and forth between him and SpaceX HR, discussing his salary, his relocation to Florida, and his start date. But there was one glaring detail Chandler missed. A corporate giant like SpaceX would never send official communications from a simple Gmail account. But the walls were closing in. The college tuition wasn't being paid because Chandler wasn't a student. He told his dad the college was holding his transcripts due to a glitch. Bart, wanting to help, started calling the school himself. To stop him, Chandler bought a burner phone and impersonated school officials via email, spinning a web so complex it exhausted everyone involved. The lie had an expiration date. Frustrated by the constant excuses and glitches, Bart Halderson decided to take matters into his own hands. He dialed Madison College directly, but here's the twist. Bart didn't call as a concerned father. To cut through the bureaucracy, he impersonated Chandler. Listen to the aggression in his voice. He is fully convinced the school is at fault, repeating the lies his son had fed him for months.
Hi, I'm trying to get an appointment scheduled to meet with somebody to mainly just get a copy of the transcript and also a printed copy of a certificate that was earned and other degree verification.
Okay.
How do I get that done?
Okay, for the degree, you have to download the duplicate diploma form and send it in with a check or a money order of $4 for the diploma to be mailed back to you. For the transcript, you have to go online and request it.
Yeah, I tried requesting them online and we never got them. And I've spent I don't know how many times doing that at $8 a piece, so I'm not willing to do that again.
Why is that letting you request your transcript? What is it?
It's not my system, it's your system, so don't ask me questions like that.
Okay, but I need to establish the problem first before I can know how to walk you through to get it. Are you by a computer so I can walk you through on how to get it?
I've gone through the process before. I worked with, I tried to work with Daniel Spike to see if he can get through the information. I don't know if he's with you guys anymore, but it just seems like the ball keeps getting dropped.
Okay, I mean it's pretty easy to request a transcript.
That's what I thought too, and
you just go to the
it
website.
hasn't come through.
It doesn't come through like they don't send it? Do you request it? Okay. So we have a third party that processes it. It's called Credentials. Did you talk to Credentials?
No.
Hello?
Well, yeah.
I said, did you talk to Did you talk
No,
to
I said no. No.
Okay. So we have a third party. Hold on, let me look at your account first, okay? What is your ID number or social? So I can access your account.
No, I don't have that.
Okay, what's your first name?
Chandler, Chandler. Last name is Hald, D as in David, Erson.
You said last name is H-A-N?
Hal is in Larry, Derson.
Okay, what's your address and your date of birth?
4595 Oak Springs Circle, DeForest, Wisconsin, 53532. Date of birth is March 15th, 1998.
Okay, so it looks like you owe a balance. You owe a balance of $2,349. So that's why you can't request it. Hello?
Bart was aggressive because he believed he was right. He thought he was fighting for his son's future. But then, the administrator, Omar Job, dropped the first bombshell. Not only were there no transcripts, but there was a massive unpaid debt.
Yeah. Can I schedule a time to actually come in there and pay all that and resolve everything at one time?
With the payment, yeah, the payment center is open, yes. You can come in. Somebody will be there. You can make the payment. You can pay online too. They can lift the hold. You can talk to the financials. They will lift the hold, and then you can request a transcript.
How long can they do an unofficial transcript?
Yes. If you have to pay the balance though. You have to pay the balance first. Then you can obtain whatever you want to obtain.
Okay. Now, how long does it take to do an unofficial transcript from you guys?
Right away. You can download it. It's a PDF that you can download right away.
You can hear the shift in Bart's tone, the confusion. He's trying to solve a problem that shouldn't exist. But the worst was yet to come. Bart asks about the solar program certificate, the very qualification Chandler needed for his imaginary SpaceX job. Watch how the entire fantasy collapses in seconds.
Now, if we've earned a certificate, say, in that solar program,
You said
where does that get requested to?
if you earned a certificate?
Yeah.
I don't see that you earned a certificate. There were no like. You were taking.
Oh, okay.
You were taking IT classes, right? I don't see that you were in a program.
Well, prior to the IT, there was a solar program too.
There was
Well,
no-
how far back does that account
Yeah,
go?
but
That
I
you're
don't-
looking at, like when was the first class taken?
See that you were Chandler. I can. And the spring of 2018. Spring of 2018.
Oh, okay. So that does have all the history then.
Yeah, but I don't see that you were admitted.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
But I don't see that you were admitted in any program.
So you said they were, it's the IT degrees in there, right?
No, those are just classes. like you took general education classes and then the IT classes. You might have just took the classes but not be in the program. You have the solar. You took a solar class, physics, trigonometry, leadership as an art. Yeah. Yep, you took solar classes, but you were not in the program.
Mm-hmm. Does the internship from the spring show up in there?
Entrance from the spring of what year? I can go back.
Oh, this year, 2021. Or winter. Yeah, you do spring. Yeah.
No.
Do those normally show up in there?
Yes, if the internship is part of the curriculum, yes.
Okay. Okay, that should do it then. Okay, thank you for your help.
Right, you're welcome.
In that moment, the silence is deafening. Bart Halderson hung up the phone with a heavy realization. There was no degree, there was no internship, there was no SpaceX. For 2 years, he had been proud of a phantom. And when he turned to look at his son, he wasn't looking at an astronaut. He was looking at a stranger. Bart, likely heartbroken and furious, gave Chandler an ultimatum. They were going to the college together that afternoon for a meeting to sort this out. Chandler agreed. But he knew that if he walked into that meeting, the SpaceX astronaut persona would die. At 2:15 p.m., Chandler sent a text to his father, "I'm ready whenever you are." But they never left the house. Forensic evidence suggests that shortly after that text, Chandler shot his father in the back with a high-powered SKS rifle he had been hiding. When his mother, Krista, returned home later that afternoon, she was killed as well. There was no argument overheard by neighbors. No screaming, just silence. Chandler was now alone in the house with the reality of what he had done. Instead of panicking, he went to work, but not at SpaceX. Over the next 6 days, Chandler engaged in a gruesome cover-up. We will spare you the graphic details, but it is necessary to know that he attempted to burn remains in the family fireplace and scattered other evidence across rural Wisconsin. He visited a local farm property belonging to his girlfriend's family. He asked to use their pool, but really, he was looking for a place to hide the evidence. He was seen by witnesses walking into the woods with a tarp. Surveillance cameras captured him buying cleaning supplies, tarps, and duct tape. He even visited his girlfriend's cottage, acting completely normal, while his parents were missing. On July 7th, Chandler reported his parents missing. He spun a story about them going to their cabin for the 4th of July weekend to fix a water pump. But the police noticed things immediately. Chandler claimed they took money and liquor, but their phones were off. More importantly, Chandler's story about the water pump didn't add up. Neighbors at the cabin said no one had been there. Detectives brought Chandler in. He had a bandage on his foot. He claimed he cut it on the fireplace glass while playing with his dogs. In reality, investigators believe this injury happened while he was disposing of evidence. Watch his body language here. He is helpful, talkative, but detached.
Questions I asked were, do you understand?
Yeah,
your
I
rights?
understand, and I am willing to make a statement.
Okay, perfect. All right. So like we already said, I talked to you yesterday. So today is July 8th. It's about 5:11 now. We started talking at 5:08. So yesterday, July 7th, I came to your house where you live with your parents, Bart and Krista Halderson. And The reason I was there is you had gone to the Windsor Police Department and reported them missing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't go to the department. I went to their like office break room area
In the same building.
I think it's mixed in with the city hall.
Okay. But nonetheless, a deputy came and spoke to you. Okay. So you reported your parents missing. We got some information from you yesterday. We've been following leads last night, working today to, go through different things, just trying to locate them, right? So I guess if you want to start with, let's just go back to last Wednesday.
Wednesday. I was with my dad. What time Wednesday? I remember it. It was kind of a bad day.
Okay. Why was it a bad day?
Well, my mom had work, so she was gone. My dad and I were watching something over lunch. It was The Wheel of Fortune, and we normally have the couch, like with our back facing the table we sat at the end of you coming.
Downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, that room with the TV. I tossed the ball, and I smashed the glass.
Okay.
With the dog's help. That set my dad off, and we tried to clean it up.
Okay.
I don't know about him, but I got injured. But he was mad. He didn't really talk to me too much that day. My mom got home at 5, I believe. I think that's her normal, 5:20 to 5:30.
What time does she work, do you know?
7:30 is when she leaves. I don't know her hours, but I know when she leaves
Okay.
is 7:30. And then all the way up till 5, and she comes home 5:20, 5:30.
Did she come home about 5:20, 5:30 that day?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
The breakthrough came when the girlfriend's her mother found a piece of the tarp Chandler had hidden on their land. Police searched the area. They found the remains. The missing persons case was now a homicide investigation.
The farm, beautiful farm, cultivated for years with wildflowers, kind of an Eden of sorts, was turned into a crime scene. Police swarmed the place. Drones were in the air, cadavers, dogs were on the ground. Everyone's looking through absolutely everything they could, but it's a farm. There's a million places things could be. But one detective said, "Look at that in the woods. Is that a garbage can full of a tarp?" It was. And I'll tell you that tarp was taken to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab eventually. Bart Halderson, Krista Halderson, their blood is all over it. Another detective said, that spot where Chandler was walking out of the woods, there's an oil barrel there, like an old fuel tank with a hole in it. That's right where the car was parked. So she peeks her head in. And that's what she sees. Broken saw blades, hand saws, scissors, tree loppers, all of them tested by the state crime lab, all of them covered in human blood of Bart and Krista Halderson. The farm was searched extensively, and I'll tell you that some months later, things were even continuing to be found. Up to this fall, in October, the homeowner, the person who owns the farm, was tearing apart a barn trying to clean it. And there in a barn about 100 yards from where Bart Halderson was found, the murder weapon, behind a bunch of boards on the side of the barn. At this point in the investigation, the police knew they needed to start talking to Chandler. He's seen coming out of the location where his dad's body was, just brutally apart. The tools, the cutting instruments are found there.
The trial was a masterclass in digital forensics. The prosecution didn't just have physical evidence, They had Chandler's digital soul. They showed the jury the SpaceX emails sent from Chandler's own IP address. They showed the college transcripts forged in Microsoft Word. They showed his Google searches, Wisconsin body decomposition, and can you burn bones?
And police started to find emails like this. This from Tom Selznick, a guy at American Family Insurance, a Northeast remote human resources guy. Describing this, you're registered as salary, but you're making hourly. And these emails would go back and forth with Chandler and the HR person, and eventually he'd forward them to his father. But Saturday, July 3rd, 2021, his girlfriend leaves early in the morning. That's the day she snaps that picture of him out by the Wisconsin River dumping off his mom's remains. He spends the rest of the day hanging out. But when he goes home and says he's going to bed that night, this young man who supposedly couldn't drive or carry heavy objects, his phone records show that he's up near the Wisconsin River in Portage. As if you're driving the interstate up to the Dells, right when you cross the Wisconsin River, off in the state land there to the right. For about an hour, in the middle of the night, the police tried to search that area. It was impossible with the currents. Whatever remains were thrown in there are lost forever. July 4th, 2021, this is the day he texts himself. Spends the day with his girlfriend's family, goes to their farm to use the pool. That's the day he says, hey, can I come back tomorrow? Goes to some fireworks. He's living a normal life. No mention of his parents. The next day, takes out the garbage in the morning. Who knows what was in that garbage can? We've thoroughly searched the landfills, but it's impossible to find anything. But he took out the garbage. He goes out to the farm to supposedly use the pool where he's seen walking out of the woods. Cell phone tower records prove that he was out there on the farm. Remember I told you he told that person that he was having trouble at work and school and having a bad doctor's appointment. He never went to any doctor's appointment that day. Phone records show he never talked to any doctor. It was all a ruse to be able to go out in the woods and hide his father's body. The next day, not much happens because Chandler was up all night. Again, that light analysis shows all night, the garage light on and off. The garage, of course, being where we found some of these tools, the axe covered in blood. He's cleaning up. At 4:30 in the morning, for no apparent reason, he drives around the city of Madison. There's no idea what he did there. But he's not doing much. But people begin questioning him about his parents. He just says they're late. The person most worried, perhaps, is his girlfriend. She thought that was unlike them. The next day, he drives back to the farm, throws a bag of bloody rags into their garbage can that's out by the street. And at 11:22, he texts his girlfriend that he's finally going to the police. We know that bag of rags came from his house because they were in the Target bag his girlfriend picked up from Target, and she did the curbside pickup. So her name was printed on the outside. It was when she brought him hydrogen peroxide. He filled the bag with bloody rags and left it at the house. The next day, he starts Googling body found, Wisconsin body found. He's walking door to door asking about security cameras in his neighborhood. And at 4 p.m., they take him downtown and they arrest him at 6:41.
His defense was almost non-existent. There was no way to explain the mountain of lies. Chandler sat stone-faced as the jury convicted him on all counts. Chandler Halderson was sentenced to life in prison without parole. But the question remains, why? Psychologists point to a severe form of narcissism and a fear of shame. He had built a glass castle of lies. When his father threatened to throw a stone at it, Chandler decided that murder was preferable to admitting he was just an unemployed 23-year-old. It is a chilling reminder that sometimes the people we think we know are strangers living in a fantasy. May Bartz and Krista Halderson rest in peace. If you found this case analysis compelling, please subscribe to CrimeLog. We upload deep dives every week. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.